Hello and welcome to part 2 of the solution to my Python Minesweeper challenge. In last week's video, we saw how to set up the first part of the solution. I'll leave a link to that video in the top right hand corner of your screen, so make sure to check it out first. Today, we are going to translate what we did last week into actual Python code, and thus complete the solution to our challenge. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. First, as you can see, we have added the 2 lines we formulated last week, and therefore now we can write count equals 0 followed by a nested for loop. In other words, for x in array horizontal and then for y in array vertical, we can say if grid y x is equal to hashtag, in other words, there's a mine, then we can say count plus equals 1. And finally, outside of our for loop, we can say return count. Now, as you can see, I've pasted in our grid, and then all we have to do is iterate through each cell and, if it's empty, run our check adjacent function and count how many adjacent mines there are. So let's write for I in range len grid 0, because we're counting along the x-axis, and then for j in range len grid, because now we're counting in the y-axis, and we can say if grid ji is different to hashtag, so it's not a mine, then grid ji will be equal to check adjacent of what? Of grid I and j. As you can see, we've replaced the empty cells in our grid with the number of adjacent mines. So all that's left to do now is print our result. We can do this easily by writing for line in grid print line. If we run our code by pressing the F5 key, we can see that on the right hand side our solution appears and is correct. So there you have it, a simple piece of code which can solve any Minesweeper grid, however complex it may be. With that, I hope you enjoyed today's solution, and if so, then please remember to leave a like, share the video, and join the Coding Specs community by subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to catch up on my previous coding challenges or tutorial videos, I'll leave a link to them in the top right-hand corner of your screen and in the video description. As always, I look forward to seeing you all again next week for another fun video. And until then, happy coding!